top. He's grabbing that knee. Maxwell's grabbing that knee.
Feigns the pop driver.
The bell rang, MJF left the ring and MJF threw some water on a fan. MJF also ripped up a fan sign as well. MJF did a strut along with a hip swivel, so Will did it too. Will tripped up MJF, which led to the two men going for moves and neither man connected. Will did a backflip over MJF, who was down on the mat, and that led to a stare down along with cheers from the fans. Will took control with a clothesline that sent MJF to the floor. MJF thought he avoided a dive, but Will was ready on the other side with a somersault dive over the top onto MJF on the floor. Back in the ring, Will hit a boot to the jaw and a belly-to-back suplex for 2. MJF sent Will face first into the turnbuckle, followed by MJF doing an arm drag that sent Will crashing into the other turnbuckle. MJF applied a chinlock, Will broke free and hit a jawbreaker. MJF hit Will with a knee to the ribs. MJF lifted up Will, leading to a stunner for 2. Nice move. MJF went for a move near the ropes, Will avoided that and MJF hit a cutter variation for 2. Will went to the apron, leading to an enziguri. Kick, and Will hit an elbow smash off the top turnbuckle. Will hit a running elbow to the head. Will ran the ropes, leading to a cartwheel, leading to a backflip over the top onto MJF on the floor. That was incredible. Back in the ring, MJF avoided a moonsault off the top and Will hit a standing SSP for 2. Will jumped off the ropes with a sky twister press for 2. The fans chanted, "This is awesome" for them. Tony mentioned that Will is 9-0 on Dynamite. MJF bailed to the floor, so Will did a slingshot dive over the top onto MJF on the floor. Will grabbed a table from ringside and set it up on the floor. Back in the ring, Will chopped MJF a few times. MJF sent Will upside down, leading to a superkick to the head. MJF jumped over Will, then sold a knee injury that was likely MJF faking it, and MJF came back with a jumping piledriver for 2. The fans chanted, "This is awesome" again. MJF spoke into the camera telling Daniel Garcia that's what a real piledriver looks like. MJF gave Will a back body drop. MJF grounded Will with a figure 4 leglock for nearly a minute until Will turned it over, and then MJF turned it back over to have the advantage again until Will got to the bottom rope to break the hold. MJF sent Will across the ring, but Will collapsed while selling a knee injury. MJF was laughing about it. MJF chopped Will, followed by nails across the back. Will sold the right knee injury while the referee checked on him. MJF did some blatant eye gouging to Will. There were some chops from Will, but MJF came back with a chop block to the right leg. MJF elbowed Will in the back of the head. Will came back with short kicks and a hard chop. MJF did more eye gouging. Will ran the ropes, leading to a double clothesline. MJF called or a brainbuster, so Will countered it and it hit a cutter instead. Will jumped off the ropes, leading to an oscutter. Will was too hurt to cover right away, so MJF rolled out of the ring. MJF was on the apron. Will jumped off the turnbuckle and went for an oscutter, but MJF moved and Will hit the apron with his shoulder. MJF attacked Will on the floor by sending him into the steel steps. Excalibur said they were going to picture-in-picture, but here in Canada on TSN they kept showing it on the full screen. The fans chanted for a table, so MJF gave them the middle finger gesture instead. MJF took control with an armbar on the left arm. It was back to full screen action with MJF kicking Will's arm. They were 22 minutes into this match. MJF hit a shoulder breaker. MJF hit the Made in Japan sit-out slam for a 2 count. When Will was sent into the ropes, he did another cartwheel, leading to a backflip kick to the head. Will chopped MJF a few times. Will had MJF on his shoulders, leading to a rack bomb for a 2 count. MJF left the ring again. Will went after him and MJF hit him in the throat with a punch. MJF went over the barricade and walked up the stairs. Will went after MJF and the crowd, leading to some punches to the chest. Will even let a little girl in the crowd hit MJF in the chest a few times. That was funny. The referee Bryce Remsburg was with them in the crowd, so Excalibur tried to explain it by saying the referee was using his discretion rather than count them out. MJF threw a drink at Will in the crowd. Will sent MJF into a garbage can. Will put MJF upside down in the garbage can, and then MJF stumbled back to ringside. After about 2 minutes on the floor with no count out, they were back at ringside. Will even went into the ring and broke the referee's count that didn't exist. Will set up MJF on the table at ringside. Will went up top and MJF rolled off the table, leading to MJF rolling into the ring. Will and MJF each got 2 counts. Will gave MJF a reverse Rana that spiked MJF on the head. MJF sent MJF upside down against the turnbuckle, leading to a superkick. MJF hit the Long Island Sunrise, Adam Cole's move, for a 2 count. There was another "This is awesome" chant as the match reached the 30-minute mark. MJF set up Will on the table on the floor. MJF went up top, so Will rolled off the table and MJF went down to the floor. MJF bit Will's left arm, which Will hurt earlier in the match. MJF set up Will against the barricade at ringside, leading to MJF hitting a running knee on Will on the floor. MJF did some stalling by drinking some water. MJF sent Will into the barricade, but Will came back with a cutter on the floor. MJF wanted Crossroads, then Will countered it and Will hit Crossroads for 2. MJF used the referee as a distraction, leading to an eye gouge, and then MJF stomped on Will's left arm. MJF lifted Will, leading to Cradle DDT for 2. Will countered an MJF move, so MJF had a rough landing, but then MJF tripped up Will on the ropes. MJF jumped off the turnbuckle with a clothesline for 2. They went to the apron where MJF teased a tombstone, but Will countered it and MJF blocked Will from doing a move. Will superkicked MJF while on the apron. Will gave MJF a Styles Clash on the apron. That was brutal, so the fans chanted "holy shit" for it. Will covered for a 2 count. Will connected with a powerbomb while also selling his left shoulder injury. They went to a picture-in-picture break. Commercial. The match returned 40 minutes into this matchup that had a 60-minute time limit. MJF bounced off the ropes, leading to Will hitting a back elbow. It was not a full hidden blade. Excalibur said that Dr. Sampson reset Will's left shoulder during the break. MJF caught a leaping Will and hit a tombstone for 2. They replayed what Dr. Sampson did to Will's left shoulder. MJF used wrist tape to choke Will a bit. MJF sent Will hard into the turnbuckle. MJF sent Will into the turnbuckle again, leading to Will doing a sternum bump. Will sent MJF into the turnbuckle, followed by a chop. MJF blocked a chop and then did an arm wringer on Will. MJF charged, which led to Will doing a back body drop over the top to the floor. MJF blocked a moonsault on the floor. MJF bragged about being the smartest wrestler, so Will jumped through the ropes with a hidden blade elbow to the head on the floor. The camera was in the perfect spot to film that, as Taz pointed out, because we could see Will jumping onto MJF with the elbow smash. The referee was counting them out here, yet chose not to do that earlier. Back in the ring, Will jumped off the turnbuckle with a forearm to the back of MJF's head for a 2 count. Will went up top, but MJF hit the ropes to trip him up. MJF went for a Hurricane Rana off the ropes. Will caught him and Will gave MJF a Styles Clash off the turnbuckle onto the mat. Will covered MJF near the ropes, so MJF got his right hand on the bottom rope, so it was just a 2 count. MJF hit the Heatseeker move that's like a DDT, and it was MJF's but hitting the mat rather than any part of Will's body. MJF put Will onto the table at ringside. MJF climbed up to the top turnbuckle and MJF jumped off the top turnbuckle with an elbow drop that put Will through the table. That was an awesome looking move that MJF did perfectly. They aren't going to call for a disqualification for the table spot. The referee also wasn't counting them out of the ring. They went to a picture-in-picture break again. Commercial. they were both selling fatigue in the ring with not much action going on. MJF applied an abdominal stretch. The match returned about 50 minutes into it and there's a 60-minute time limit. MJF held onto the ropes while applying the abdominal stretch submission. After MJF grabbed the ropes a few times, referee Bryce Remsburg finally saw it and kicked MJF's arm to force him to break the hold. Will got a couple of roll-ups for 2 along with a backslide pin for 2. There were more near falls from both guys. Will went for a Hurricane Rana, but MJF caught him with a powerbomb into a backbreaker for 2. Great sequence. MJF went for the kangaroo kick. Will avoided that and set up MJF against the ropes where Will connected with a super kick. Will went for a top rope reverse Rana, but MJF landed on his feet. That was amazing, as Tony said. MJF gave Will a top rope Hurricane Rana leading to Will doing a flip off the ropes and he landed on his feet. Wow. MJF did another eye poke, Will hit a super kick, then MJF hit a rolling elbow and MJF hit a knee strike to the jaw. Will did a backflip off the chest leading to an enziguri kick. Will got a 2 count, MJF countered and they each got multiple pin attempts. I think there were about 8 of them in a row. Will sent for a springboard move, but MJF hit a super kick. Will hit Stundog Millionaire and a reverse Rana. MJF hit Will in the back with a forearm. MJF ran the ropes leading to Will hitting a Spanish Fly Slam for 2. The fans were giving them a standing ovation. MJF went against the turnbuckle where Will went after him by trying for a move off the top. MJF countered it going for a move off the turnbuckle, but Will broke free. Will hit the springboard Oscutter followed by the hidden blade elbow for 1, 2, and no because MJF got his right shoulder up. Will went for the hidden blade elbow to the back of the head, but MJF ducked to avoid it. MJF spit in Will's face, so Will headbutt him in the face. It was announced that there was 1 minute remaining in the 60-hour time limit. Will lifted up MJF for a move, but then he stopped himself from doing the Tiger Driver because he said in the past that it was too dangerous. MJF shoved Will into referee Remsburg, who bumped into the ropes. MJF put the Dynamite Diamond ring on his hand and punched Will in the face. The referee never saw it because he was against the ropes. MJF managed to cover Ospreay with his right arm across Will's chest. The clock was ticking down as referee Remsburg counted the 1, 2, and 3. The match went 59:58. They showed the Dynamite Diamond ring that was on the floor after MJF used it. The referee never saw MJF use it.